All right, so I'm beginning to think the two best days of owning a camper is when you buy it and when you sell it. All right, so I got a Sunseeker on a Chevy chassis with a 4500 engine. First of all, good luck finding people that work on the chassis. The people that sell you the camper don't work on chassis. So let me show you what's going on. All right, Chevy 4500. Let me show you. Here it is. The black screen, right? Nothing. Let go of the key. We get all kinds of lights, right? And the door, turn the key, nothing. All right, so if you watch videos online, it could be the switch up here, but I'm hoping it's not. You come down in here. So it could be a relay, or it could be a fuse, or it could be the starter. And I'm thinking this is a 2015 and it's 2022. I'm betting it's the starter, because think about it. All winter long, you might come out and crank it once, maybe twice. So I'm thinking it's the electronic portion of the starter. So I went ahead and pulled the right front tire to make it easier, to give me some more room to get up under there. Now we'll go ahead and I'll show you where the starter's at. Yep, fun. I am hoping it's the starter. As a fuse right here. Could be as simple as a fuse, but I've watched enough video on YouTube to think it's gonna be the starter, only because we don't use it that much, right, in a camper, unless you're full-time and you're going from here to there and everywhere else. So let's go see where the starter's at. All right, so even though I got it on jacks, just in case my jack fails, this will at least catch the weight of the camper and I won't get smushed. Alright, let's see if I can wheel this under. Kind of like stuck in a crack here. Working on things in a driveway just sucks. But there's the starter. There's two bolts. I'm hoping just holds the starter on and I can lower it. There's the starter. I don't know if it caught it. Somehow I turned the tools on. I'll pull those bolts. Hopefully the starter will come off and then I can disconnect the wires going to it. Let's see. Let's hope. At least it's out in the open. The whole starter's getting loose, so I know I'm in the right area. It's so fun to do backyard maintenance, you know what I mean? I thought I was going to drive it up on ramps, then I laughed at myself because the engine won't even crank over. How am I going to drive it up on a ramp? One. Let's see if I can manage to do this without cutting myself all up. I'm hoping I get enough play so I could take the wires off. It's not gonna come easy. Why does everything have to be in the way? You know what I mean? Why? Why? This heat shield, I remember the guy telling me about it on YouTube, that this heat shield right here got in his way. So I guess I'll go ahead and pop that sucker off. Let's take a break on the video and see. Alright, so there's the heat shield, and it worked. As soon as I removed that heat shield, it let me get my starter out. So now hopefully it gave me enough slack to get the wires off the back. But I think the hard part's done for now till I put the new one in. I might just have to try to put the wires on while it's installed, which I might be able to come through here like he did. This stuff just pops right off. Go in through there. We'll find out. Alright, so you got that quick connect and that right there. Those are the only two that was on the starter. Starter's off. Other than being on my back down here in this tight quarter, it wasn't really that bad. 2 bolts, 2 wires. Oh yeah, the heat shield. Make sure you take that heat shield off first, because that got in the way. Thank God for YouTube, I already seen that on another. Why do I always hit that? I don't know. Anyway, thank God for YouTube, and I seen where he was like, oh, that heat shield's hidden. Let me just get it off. Now let's go buy us a new starter and see what happens. Wish me luck. Alright, so I got the starter off. Actually, it's a whole different day. I don't know where solenoids are. The important ones for cranking this bad boy. Just wanted to show you what they look like with the cover. So, I got my starter off and I took it to good old O'Reilly's Auto, and they bench checked it, and it bench checked good. So I removed that starter for nothing, but still, oh well. I didn't have them see little gadgets to double check my relays, although you can swap relays around, and if it cranks, hey, you know it was a relay, which I did later on and figured it out. Then I had to order relays. So hold on. Alright, so actually the starter went on pretty good, and it's just right down through there. I removed the tire because look, there's not much room and I couldn't drive it up on a ramp, so I put the starter back in and then I came over to the relay. Now let me pop that cover off and I'll show you. It was a joke saying pop the cover off. Make sure you take this part of the cover off first. Finally get in to your relays, right? So you can see right here on the relays, number 15 is the run crank relay. So the run crank relay is right there. But also, if this zooms in for me, you can see the J case fuse number 44 is the starter solenoid. So that is right there. Oops, sorry about the shadow. So there's your run crank relay, and then there's your starter solenoid fuse. Should I have went to this first? Yes, because what I did there, All these relays right here are the same. So I just swapped one up to the run crank relay, and it cranked, but it wouldn't start because obviously I interfered. I put a bad relay down here somewhere. So I was like, well, I just pulled that starter for nothing. But what you gonna do? At least I didn't just go run out and buy a starter. I let O'Reilly's check it out for me. So let's go see what they look like out on the panel itself. Alright, so we're at the panel itself. Right there. There is your run crank relay. And your starter solenoid fuse. You just can't quite see it. It's right there. Right over there. So I pulled my run crank solenoid and swapped it with one of these. They're all the same. So it cranked, but it wouldn't start because these other solenoids are obviously important. So I went and ordered. I had to order them because they just didn't have them in stock. So what you gonna learn from this? They actually do have a little relay tester that you can install and then install the relay on top. I watched that on YouTube also. So there's a lot of info out there. You just got to be able to find it. So after all that was said and done, and I did some recreational maintenance, she cranks up. And now I actually ordered every single relay there, and I just kept the ones I knew were good and threw the run crank relay that was bad out. So start with your relays. Just swap one around. Swap one to the run crank. See if it at least turns over. If it turns over, you know it was that solenoid. But one of the videos I watched, he did all that. He checked all the relays, checked voltage going from the starter switch down, and it ended up being the electrical portion of the starter. So I just, well, you know what happens when you assume, but I just assumed it was going to be the starter. Nope, it was a $13 relay, so that was good news. So that was good. So I'm ready to go camping until the next thing breaks.